What's going on, everyone? So I want to kind of just talk generally about the Lakers. And of course, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. But you're really seeing just a different change in atmosphere. You're really seeing a different vibe. Even like Jovan Buha talked about how like the vibe and just the feel has not been this way in years, right? I mean, you're talking back to the 2020 season, and you see it. Now you're seeing all these training videos and all these images and all this stuff that's coming out from the Lakers side of things, and all the interviews, and it's just the talk. Like that's something that you regularly hear, right? The environment, the vibe, right? The way that things are just kind of feeling with this team. It's clearly different, right? You didn't get that stuff with Darvin Ham. The praise and what you're hearing about JJ Redick is just incredibly different. I mean, it's polar opposite to what you're getting with Darvin Ham. And people have thrown their shots and kind of took jabs at Darvin Ham, but it's not even so much praising JJ Redick, right? Because, you kind of expect that. Like, what do they say? Like, JJ Redick's trash? But it's the verbiage. It's the wording. It's what they're saying about JJ Redick. It's not just generalized like, oh yeah, he's doing great for a first-year head coach. No, he's been very detail-oriented, very prepared, right? We're running real sets. Right? He's just, him and the coaching staff is really just kind of really changing the culture, right? Like you hear just D'Lo talk about the praise. Like I've never had this type of, coach batting for me and ever built this type of relationship with the coach and all. Like you're hearing just praise, but specific praise. And it's a consensus praise, right? The attention to details you've heard from pretty much everyone that's had interviews. Right? You've heard over and over again that the culture is just shifting from media members, from players, from outside people, like you name it. Everyone's like, no, this just seems and feels different. You see the videos of like literal offensive actions taking place, real ball movement, right? JJ Redick has done more in a month than Darvin Ham did in his entire tenure. Now, obviously, it has to translate to actual NBA basketball success, right? But the fact that you're hearing all the things that you're hearing, the fact that JJ Redick immediately identified all of the issues that this team has, and a lot of stuff that myself and many of you had been just screaming about all season long, right? If we can identify it, if we know what the problems are, if we can figure out how to correct some of these things, and some of them were just simple, easy fixes, right? Like, how come our head coach, like, it wasn't like things that was like, oh, only an NBA level head coach or a real basketball mind would have to see that, right? It's just like my girl could be like, hey, when that guy's over here, he's better than over here. Like, why isn't he over here more? Like, thank you, right? Like, it's crazy how underutilized players were under Darvin Ham. How just the look and feel of players, right, during training camps. But also just like, even the way that JJ Redick talks to the media and is just very, to the point, right? And like Dalton Connect, for example, had his struggles, and he was like, hey, Dalton Connect had, they asked about Dalton Connect. He didn't shoot well. He wasn't shooting well. He had a rough practice, right? But then explained like, hey, we were doing our drills and everything like that for an hour and a half, and then, we've been doing the 5-on-5 after. And, that could be a cause for that. He's a rookie. He's trying to get his conditioning down. He's trying to get his feel and understanding, his grasp for positioning and stuff like that. Right? Like, okay, that's good. But, like, again, it's addressing things to the point, right? Talking about, career year with D. Okay, well, here, let me, clearly you're taking this a different way. Let me explain this to you. Someone asked, like, where do we take the next step? Well, what's the next step to you? Right? Like, I don't care if Rui's a superstar. I care about how he impacts winning, right? Like all those little things, right? You look at Darvin Ham, and at times just the way Darvin Ham early, like the first year was actually really good at talking with the media too, and just kind of, the way he approached it. But it was more like a politician almost, right? Kind of like moved around and tiptoed and kind of, like, hey, look it over here, right? Don't look over here type thing, where JJ's just like head on. Like, he was bad, right? Like, but he'll be all right, right? Like, it'll work out. Like, give him time, right? Like, I love that. I love the just no nonsense, right? I love that he's just doing that. But also, like, they're making a real emphasis on conditioning. Right, they're doing conditioning drills and really trying to establish this culture and set an environment, right? Like, getting guys going. Like, even Rui's been like, man, like, I haven't ran this much before. It's kind of new. We're really working hard on the conditioning. They're using all this tracking equipment. They're utilizing all this technology to get player stats and mileage while they're playing and all that, right? He talked about how Bronny James was clocked in 6 miles, and Jalen Schifino was at like 5.5 miles. And you just start going down the list of all the things that you just never heard with Darvin Ham. You never heard, like, one of the reasons Darvin Ham got fired was his lack of preparation, his lack of attention to details, his lack of adjustments, right? But like even JJ says, not just me, it's the entire staff. That's why I went and got this staff, because they're just like me. They're manic about things. They want us to be the best version. They want this team to really work hard and practice. And, we're going through these intense workouts. You look at teams like Miami and how much praise Miami gets for, heat culture and just the environment that they've created. I mean, they have like conditioning tests. They have tests to where if you're not a certain like body fat percentage or you don't pass their conditioning test, you won't even play. They'll cut you if they have to, right? Like, things like that. Like, I remember, like, when Kyle Lowry first got to Miami, there was talks about, like, is he even going to play because of how strict Miami is? And he had to, like, work hard to kind of get to where Miami wanted him, right? Like, those are the kind of things that the Lakers want to establish. Those are the kind of things that the Lakers want to create. They want to be this culture. They want to develop guys. They want to be one of the most organized and attention to detailed oriented teams. This is different, right? It's already different in a great way. Now, again, it obviously has to translate to on-court success, right? Like, so if you look at this as like stages, right? Like, stage 1 is cleared. Like, this has been great. Just reading all the reports, seeing all the interviews, watching all the, like, just the everything that's coming out. It's all a consensus from everybody. Like, you usually get that one, oh yeah, this is great, and then everyone else kind of generic, right? It's just like, oh yeah, like, no, it's like every person, you just see the vibe, you see the excitement, you see the freshness, right? You see the, like, no, like, things are different here, right? Like, this coaching staff is very on top of things, very organized, right? Attention to detail, attention to detail, attention to detail, attention to detail. It's all we keep hearing. You never heard that stuff with Darvin Ham. You never heard that stuff the last 2 years with the Lakers. There were times where, guys would be standing there and doing these interviews, and it's like, like, whatever, like, yeah, practice was great. Again, those kind of generic answers, rather than like addressing the things head on, or having, or talking about, no, we've been working on this, we've been doing this, we've been working on our conditioning. It's just, again, like, I really have faith in this team. I really do. Like, it doesn't mean that I don't still want to trade. That doesn't mean that I still don't think we need things. Doesn't mean that I think we're a perfect roster and with all this, but I think we're going to be a really good team. Right? Did a video talking about how I think we most likely will be a top, maybe 3 to 5 seed potentially. Right? Like, especially with all the questions with all these various other teams that, like Minnesota, how do they look now with Julius Randle and that cat? Right? Like, kind of go down the list of these teams, and it's like, not everybody's just like, that significantly improved. Like, teams like the Thunder, I still think will be ahead of us, but I wouldn't be shocked if we're one of the better offenses in the league. I think we'll be a top 3 to 5 offense minimum. Defense, I do have my concerns. Bench scoring, I do have my concerns. Right? There are still things that I have concerns about, but I have confidence in this coaching staff that they'll figure it out. I have confidence in this coaching staff that they're going to be able to make the adjustments, make the changes, do whatever is necessary in order for that to work out, in order for that to happen. And we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. Because, again, obviously training camp, scrimmages, all that stuff, it's one thing. You got to be able to translate it to actual NBA games. But we're taking real strides compared to what we have seen the last few years. And this should be an exciting time for Lakers Nation. This should be an exciting time for Laker fans, right? Like, you know, even just for the long term, right? Obviously, we want to win right now. Obviously, we want to win NBA championships right now. Obviously, you know, we don't want to waste LeBron and Anthony Davis and all that stuff. But the Lakers don't just, you know, Thanos snap away after LeBron retires, right? We want this, what we're getting right now. We want this the rest of the next 20 plus years, right? Like we want that culture, Lakers culture. That's what we want to be able to. Man, you got Heat culture, Lakers culture is next level. You're the Lakers. You should have the best trainers, the best systems, the best everything, best technology, you name it. You should have it because you're the Lakers. And you're starting to really see that get implemented. Starting to see that really work out. And I love it. I do. I'm very excited about this team. Very excited. Again, still need to see it translate on the court, right? That's why I'm not like, oh, Lakers are that's it. They're good. You know, I'm willing to be patient and wait, but I'm excited. Are you? Let me know. As always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think that, like, yeah, no, there's clearly real strides, clearly real differences. This team just feels different, feels fresher, right? This is going to be just, you're establishing the culture in the right way. You're setting the tone, the interviews, all that stuff. Or do you think, no, like, you know, it's just, you know, it's just training camp. You know, I understand the people being pessimistic. I understand people kind of, you know, I want to wait first, right? I get that. So, but I am, for one, very excited. Are you? Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.